Alright, dude. Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Less Known Classics. This is episode number 23. I think it's 16, and Doubleshot number 2210. Now, first up, we have, well, of course, we have Spider-Man and, of course, X-Men. First up we have is Marvel Masterworks, The Amazing Spider-Man Volume 20. And if you're really curious, how many more of these are left to go for the Marvel Masterworks? There is exactly 3 more left. And then switch to something else for Amazing Spider-Man. So, this book covers issues 203 to 212, Amazing Spider-Man, along with the 14th annual. Your writers are Danny O'Neill for issues 207 to 212 and Daniel 14. Marv Wolfman does 203 204. Damage Lee does 205. Roger Stern does 206. Excuse me. Jim Shooter co-writes issue 208. And Mark Greenwald co-writes issue 208 as well. John Meehan Jr. does the artwork for 208, 210, 212. Keith Peller does 203, 205. Frank Miller does the annual. John Byrne does the issue 206. Jim Mooney does 207. Alan Weiss does 209. This book covers the years, the time period of April 1980 to January of 1981. So, we're still in the 80s. It's still going to be a while before I got the 80s to this one. Once I get to a certain point, there will be a point where I think when I reach basically wherever I left off with the Kramer's Last Hunt Epic Collection, when I get to the point where that started off, that at that point I will be out of the 1980s. So, won't be long right now. Nope, not really. First up we have, first let me get rid of this stuff here. Thank you. First up in 203 we have Spider-Man team with Dazzler taking on the Lightmaster. I believe this was his, I think this was his like 3rd ever appearance, if I'm not mistaken. Because I think his last appearance was in, I think it was Spectre Spider-Man, I think it was 14. Let's see. Lightmaster's last appearance was in... Oh, it was issue 20. I was never correct about him last appearance in Spectre Spider-Man. It was issue 20. And that was just basically in April. This is about 2 years later. Yeah, it's revealed that he actually was in, like, the light dimension. This is him getting out. Yeah, Dazzler, this is something quite strange about this issue. This issue's been collected about 3 or 4 times. And here's the interesting... Prior to this... this actually was her first appearance as the end of her solo title. Well, chronologically, this is set before the. This is set out there her end of her solo series. Well, basically, next after this for Dazzler, this would be her next appearance to actually be in her own solo title. Excuse me. Yeah. Though before this, chronologically, was the end of her book, which is kind of weird. Maybe it's due to flashback stuff, but yeah, basically her 2 previous appearances were in X-Men 130, 131, and then she appeared in Amazing Spider-Man 203, and then she appeared in Fantastic Four 203, 217, excuse me. And then she had her own solo book, appeared sporadically, though for some reason it goes back to 42 for some reason, but after her book she appeared a lot. I won't get into what's going on with her right now because I haven't got to that part yet, so... Yeah, basically just a guest appearance by Dazzler. It's a very interesting idea to have Dazzler show in the book. Just to hype up her solo book, which comes along after this. Lightmaster, after this one appearance. Let's see. You're probably thinking, okay, so after this issue, where does Lightmaster appear next? After this one issue, he next appears in Marvel Team Up 113. Yeah, 113. Like a year later. Yeah, that's interesting that the fact he appears like a year later and then he appears sporadically. Get this, his most recent appearance was in Superior Spartan Team Up number 7. Like almost 10 years ago. That was pretty much in a way like that was his last new appearance to date, almost a decade ago. When he's appearing alongside his daughter, Sun Girl. Yes, Lightmaster has a daughter. Yeah, when he shows up, basically, this is quite interesting for her. Though she herself basically is a quite strange of a character, where she appears in a handful of issues of Spider-Man, appears in one volume for New Warriors, opening issue of Amazing Spider-Man, Volume 3, one issue of Amazing Spider-Man, another more after that. Her last appearance was in issue 12 of that book, which came out in 2014. So yeah, she's never seen in a decade. Yeah, in case you're curious, you look at her, oh, she's black. Then if Lightmaster is white, Sun Girl is biracial because basically Lightmaster basically, let's just say, her mother is black. And, well, there's that. Then 204, we have the return of the Black Cat. Yep. First time since her debut back at, first time since 196. Yep. And she's here for this issue and the following issue. Yep. Though, here's the strange thing about this two-parter. This would lead to a brief shutdown of the Daily Globe. You're thinking, wait, what the heck is the Daily Globe, you might ask? Well, this is something. Okay, Daily Globe is a comic company. Not comic, it was a newspaper that Peter Parker also worked for briefly. Yes. At a certain period of time, they did briefly shut it down, but they brought it back anyways. Yeah. If you're curious, though, is this paper still around? Not really. The last time it appeared was actually just a few years ago. Yeah. They kind of briefly shut it down because, well, this two-parter, this is kind of weird. They had this person working for them. They had this a little bit later. Let's see if I can find it here. Because I remember there was another issue that featured them. Let's see, I think it was this issue here. Was this one? I mean, I could have sworn basically there was like another character. There was another person to work for. I think it was the Globe. Yeah, Bernie Burskin, who's actually still around, by the way. Yeah. Oh, here she is. Uh, they had this woman called K.G. Clayton, who claimed to be the publisher of. Yeah. So we'll get to her. Don't worry. And there's another character associated with this one, where make see. So basically, after 2 issues of that, then we have Peter Parker going wild and 2. Well, they say go wild. Mostly put is basically Jameson being capped by Jonas Hathrow. Yes. This weird issue. The stuff with Daily Bugle stuff being going on here. Yeah. Then after this issue, they think, okay, then we have Spider-Man versus Mesmero, an X-Men villain. Yes, believe it or not, we have him fight an X-Men villain. For reasons that's not actually been explained here. My only guess is because, well, let's have Spider-Man fight a non-Spider-Man villain, Mesmero. And if you're curious, his last appearance was... not that one. If you're curious, is he still around? Oh, heck yes, he is still very much around. Prior to this issue, he last appeared back in X-Men 112. Yes, 112. 2 years prior to this issue. Yeah, that was last time he appeared. And yeah, we have Spider-Man take on this X-Men villain. It's like, he's not a very well-known X-Men villain per se, but... Oh, in case you're curious though, is there any special debuts in these issues? Oh yeah, there's a few brand new characters. One, we'll start right here. We have Fusion, the original one. Yeah, here's the thing about this guy. He appears as one issue, pops up a few issues of Quasar, never seen again. He is a creation of Denny O'Neil. He is not a very well-known character, just two twins who basically fuse to fight Spider-Man, and that's it. Is that the only one? Oh no. Then we have 209, we have Spider-Man versus Kraven Hunter again. Yes, this was of course several years before he got killed off. Yep. Yeah, but it's always really cool when these two fight each other. Oh, and this issue in particular is also first person appearance of Calypso. Yes, Calypso. And you're thinking, who the heck is Calypso? Calypso, prior to the retcon that Kraven was married, she was Kraven's lover. Yes, seriously. And, okay, so the answer to the question, what was his last appearance prior to appearing in this issue? He last appeared back in Marvel Team Up 67. Like, about 3 years prior to this issue. Yeah, that was his last appearance. Was that one issue. Calypso. This is her debut appearance. She is sadly no longer on comics. Yeah. Yeah, she got killed in the early 90s. Just about a year prior to the ending of the... Now here's Calypso in her debut appearance, where she just basically just a woman standing there. Yeah, she's basically a voodoo priest who's in love with Kraven. Yeah, and the whole thing is like, oh, Kraven challenges Spider-Man to a fight. Spider-Man accepts, he beats him, and that's it. The annual is simply Spider-Man Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom and Dormammu. I'm like, cool. What a really cool idea. And it's a Frank Miller issue. It's a really cool annual. I always love when these two team up. It's always such awesome chemistry between the two of them. 210 is basically the debut of a long-time supporting character for Spider-Man, which people have heard of this character thanks to the Spider-Man animated series, but this comic is her debut. Meet Cassandra Webb, aka Madam Web. The original one. Because Julia Carpenter, the second Spider-Woman, is currently Spider-Woman right now. Yeah, how in the world these two met was different in the animated series. Where basically she kind of dragged him into where her place is. And did she sit in this chair in the same series? Yes, she did. Now, why is she like this for? She has a problem with her health. And she also eventually got this little thing to communicate with Spider-Man via telephone. And she's here with, oh, by the way, also have the debut of supposedly the publisher of Daily Globe, this woman named K.G. Clayton. Except this is not the actual woman. Nope, not really. Yeah, it's just a brief two-parter. It's a brief standalone issue which basically is followed a little later. Then we have where Jameson contact Peter Parker. Then we have Spider-Man vs. Namor in 211. Yep. And here's something quite interesting though. In 212, this I thought was really cool. 212 picked up almost exactly 1 day later. So within the same time period, which that's very rarely happens. Mm-hmm. Now, 212 is debut of another famous Spider-Man character, Morris Beach, Hydro Man. Yep, he makes his debut in this issue. Yes, Hydro Man. This is also the debut of his girlfriend Sally, which of course basically is like he's looking for Spider-Man. They eventually fight Spider-Man. He gets beaten, and that's it. That's great for you. You're thinking, wow, we got a few new characters. We got a couple returns. Great set of issues. I agree, it is. Nothing really bad here. It's all good stuff here. Yep. And like I mentioned, basically about 3 more volumes to go. And then I'll be done with basically reviewing the Marvel Masters of Amazing Spider-Man. What are we reviewing Amazing Spider-Man? Oh no. Still got a long way to go for that, that one. Alright, next up is something that, well, this book in particular, I'm reviewing everything in this book except for a handful of issues. This is basically Marvel Masterworks Uncanny X-Men Volume 12, which collects 184 to 200 of Uncanny X-Men. And number 9, the main specials number 1, Bizarre Avengers 27. Me. And the very first volume for Nightcrawler. Now, here's the cover for it. Let me review exactly what I'm going to discuss here. 209 and 199 200. Not discussing these 2 issues for the simple reason. I've already discussed the issues already thanks to the trade X-Men Ghost. The 9th annual and New Mutant Special number 1 discusses already thanks to the New Mutant Epic Collection. Bizarre Avengers 27, it's more like a prelude to Nightcrawler miniseries, which Cliff Clement would write that one. Yep. So, okay, the writers for these issues are, we have Chris Claremont, who does all the issues missing of Uncanny X-Men, obviously. The annual and special edition. 190 is current by Ranger Smith. Bizarre Avengers 27, it has 2 writers, Joe Duffy and Bob Layton. Dave Cockrum does the artwork for Nightcrawler. The main book itself is done by John Romita Jr., with the exception of 1 issue. He does not do 198, that's Ranger Smith. Dave Cockrum does, of course, the artwork for the Bizarre Adventures issue. Art Adams does the annual and the special edition one-shot. Now, the time period this book takes place, period of, if I can get the right thing here. Here we go. It covers the period of June 1985 and concludes in December 1985. So effectively, with this book, we're halfway through the 1980s when it comes to Uncanny X-Men. Now, in these issues, we have 194, which I believe is the debut of Nimrod. I'm thinking it is. No, it's not. It's the first appearance of the Ferris twins. Andreas Strucker. 2 twins who are in an incestuous relationship. No, I'm not kidding about that. That's 100% true. And their father does not give a damn. He does not give a damn about these 2 at all. As a matter of fact, Barry Wolfgang von Strucker does not care about his kids. At all. That's the way he's run over the years. All he cares about himself, he has no love for his kids at all. And they're mutants. Nimrod, I thought this issue was debut. Nope. It was actually 191. Yep, that was actually his debut appearance. He's here fighting the Juggernaut. Yep. 195 basically is, well, the X-Men working with Power Pack and the Morlocks, fighting some other Morlocks. 196 is a tie-in to Secret Wars 2 with the X-Men with the Ferris twins. 197 is basically, well, supposedly taking on Doctor Doom. And I say supposedly because he doesn't appear on the cover. He does appear in the cover, he does not appear in the main issue itself, just a robot. Oh, he just mentioned he's not actually the main issue itself. Yeah, and that's the main issues. Nightcrawler miniseries, just Nightcrawler just having a lot of fun. Just basically. Yeah, Nightcrawler, 4-issue miniseries. Dave Cockrum writes and draws. That was Chris Gummer, right? Yeah. Mostly put, this is kind of weird. It's basically kind of like a pirate story. And I think the reason why Marvel did this because Nightcrawler is a popular character, so why not give him a mini-series? Oh yeah, and the second issue is Not the Jaws. Yep. Yeah, mostly foot, basically. It's like a fairy tale type of thing. It's an absolute great mini-series. I do recommend checking it out. And can you believe it's only 4 issues? Yeah. It's just really fun. I love it. Excuse me. This trade itself, I give basically a 10 out of 10. All really good stuff here. Now, a little bit of announcement when it comes to this Marvel Masterworks Uncanny X-Men book. There is going to be one more I'm going to review. Yeah, one more. Because, of course, they don't have a very next book afterwards. Because here's kind of the thing comes to this one. Because this website only has the volume 14. And that's it. Now, 13, I'm not covering this one because I've already discussed issues already. Because mostly put, it just issues 201 and 209. Well, well, those issues I'm going to skip over. But the long-term miniseries, I'm going to cover that in some other review. But I'm not going to cover. I'm basically going to skip this one. And so next time we talk about the X-Men, it'd be kind of a way wrapping up the Marvel Masterworks Uncanny X-Men book. Basically, how it's going to work is I'm going to review. Excuse me. Basically, half of this book. Yes. There will be some issues I'll be skipping over. Like, basically, I'm going to be covering just issues 215 and 219 next book. Yeah. Yeah, I'll discuss those. Probably the Fantastic Four for X miniseries. That's all I'm going to cover. Basically, about half the book. And I'm also covering the very same video the X-Men Inferno Prelude. Which that one should lead me up to just about to the last epic collection review for Uncanny X-Men. So basically, won't be much longer now until basically where Uncanny X-Men will be out of the 200s. Yeah, it won't be long very now. No, not really. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for particular review. Stay tuned for my next Comic Corner, which will be discussing Iron Man and Captain America. Okay, next video. Bye.